recording as well. I'm going to record this bit of the stream. Hi, you're with Scott. I'm super chuffer. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's your right ear and your left ear. This is Martin Liedtke, who's flat earth British. Flat earth British. I've covered him before. And this is something I just really wanted to look at. So I'm recording it to make sure it's recorded. He does these posts. They're called community posts. You know what a community post is, don't you? What's this? Do you recognise that fella with the headphones doing the dance? There he is again, signing an autograph. There he is, walking around with soldiers, waving at people who are white and German. That's him again. Why are you posting GIFs of Adolf Hitler having a good time, seeming like a nice guy? What's that group? I don't know what that group is. I actually don't know what that group is, but they've got a swastika up there, so that's bad. Why are you posting these GIFs, Martin Liedtke, from Flat Earth British? Oi oi, Feb, that's Flat Earth British. That's what that means. Feb, that's what that means. You can't see his face, can you? Let me move it so you can see his face. There's his face. Oi oi, Feb, Marticus message. That's Martin Marticus. Hitler, was he evil? There was no comma, but I put the comma in. Hitler, was he evil? Or was he good for a laugh? But what I really want to know is who's Kyle? Hitler keeps shouting, see Kyle. See Kyle. Stay awesome. Please catch up with all things Feb and I'll return with more juice. Marticus van Vankelot. So your post is to question whether Hitler was bad. Is it? I'm assuming that's a joke because you put a joke here about it, but then the joke is, the punchline is, so I don't quite know how to take that. And I tell you what, nor do the people in the comments. His story is not what we are told. The propaganda was thick at the time, but the guy hated communism and wanted to destroy it. That's a plus in my book. I also hear he was good at art and he was a vegetarian. It's Hitler. It's Hitler. What's happening here is that I've talked about this concept before, but like what's actually happening in real time there, well, 6 days ago now that the post was made, but what's happening is that the right-wing Nazism is the end result of being confused by conspiracy theorists. And it's something I've been saying for ages, isn't it? Those right-wing conspiracy theory, the conspiracy theories, like the right-wing got online, they found out all the idiots were looking at conspiracy theories online, and they got in those spaces and fed them a load of shit. And now they turn them into Nazis. And that's what happened. That's literally what happened. Here's the Reform, look. Reform, Party of the Working Man. Germany for the Germans. Make Germany great again. It's not a joke. That is actually sort of Hitler's social take at the time. Make Germany great again. After the war. Germany for the Germans. Get rid of those Jews. Bad immigrants. It's their fault. That's literally what Hitler rose to power on. Party of the Working Man, make Germany great again, Germany for the Germans. And that's what Reform are doing today. And it's the same people that are into that. I mean, I know Reform and Flat Earth are not the same, yeah? But what I'm saying is that propaganda, yeah? Modern propagandists, they get you involved in conspiracy theories. I don't know if Martin Liedtke's doing this deliberately or if he's just as deluded as... But the online fuel, it used to come from places like 4chan, spaces like that. They were like MAGA Trump and all that came out of the QAnon conspiracy, which was pumped through 4chan. And it turned out they were herding people towards the most establishment of all things, the Republican Party. Same in the UK politics, Reform, Conservatives. You're just herding people towards the conservatism, the right wing, the norm, the right wing, whatever. Like, you know, you're herding people towards the establishment. So that's what Martin's doing now. And the base of it is anti-Semitism, isn't it? Nazism and anti-Semitism. So you will be surprised, or you might not be surprised, that many of these comments are actually quite anti-Semitic and admit to being Jew-hating conspiracy nuts. Hitler loved the Swedge. He mentioned painting pictures for them when he was younger. The videos of the camp showed Swedge laughing and then... Oh, Swedge is Jews backwards, I've just realised. So this person's saying Hitler loved the Jews. He mentioned painting pictures for them when he was younger. The video of the camp showed Jews laughing and entertaining them with music, paintings and plays, all with a smile. If you read the original Red Cross documents, the camps were mostly Russian, Polish and American Christians. So apparently Hitler loved the Jews and entertained them at the camps. I haven't seen anything true about that mess that makes me not like him. These are comments on Martin Liedtke's community post. I don't know if they're ironic comedic comments or if Martin Liedtke and the Flat Earth British are not just fucking Nazis who openly... I mean, Martin's not saying this. He's liking some of them, but he's not saying these things, so you can't say that he's saying it. But I would delete these comments because I think they were anti-Semitic. But I'll probably never leave this place knowing less than what I thought I knew, born into a complete fabrication. So you're saying that people told you lies about Hitler? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. All things here are upside down and inside out. That being said, good guy. Hitler, we're talking about. The greatest story never told, Europa the Last Battle, flat thumbs baby. Rumble, Europa the Last Battle. I believe that's going to be some kind of... I will check it. I believe what they're saying is go on Rumble and have a look for Europa the Last Battle, and I bet it's going to be a video about why Hitler's good. And that we've been lied to about Hitler. You see how they're using the propaganda, the conspiracy theories, to get into the heads of young idiots and turn them into Nazis? Yeah? You can't believe the fake news. What fake news? I can't find that on Rumble, so it's not there, so maybe I'm wrong. But you can't, this is part of it anyway. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Does that mean you hate Jews so you like Hitler? It's not the enemy of your enemy is your friend, it's you are also a Nazi. I mean, listen... Kanye West might be a bit excessive, yeah. Maybe there are some Jewish people who've done some bad things. Jeffrey Epstein didn't seem so nice, did he? But I'm not of the opinion that we're subjugated by an evil cabal. And even if we were subjugated by an evil cabal of Jews, I don't think it means every Jew is a bad person. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I should be more anti-Semitic. Seems the way of the world these days, doesn't it? Because of all this online nonsense. A legend unsung as yet. I'm going to read them all. See Kyle, that's my laugh for the day. Stay humorous, always. It would have been funny if you'd done it on the bus, wouldn't it? See Kyle. I met Kyle once. I did see Kyle. He was a pretty decent dude. He talked a lot about camps. Sounded like a fun summer camp to me. I don't know if that one's a joke. Or if... because they're joking about the fact that the Holocaust didn't happen. Holocaust denial is part of a conspiracy theory that starts with anti-vaxxers or starts with they're trying to control you and ends with you're a Nazi. And you don't see it. Because that's the establishment. You think you're a conspiracy theorist fighting the establishment, but the establishment were the ones that fed you those conspiracy theories. So you're actually just in with the establishment. Question the narrative and question who's fed you that narrative. And if you're not intelligent and you didn't go to school properly and you're not equipped with the ability to see, I'm not that smart. But honestly, if you lack those basic building blocks for how to think, if you didn't care about school, you're not interested, and it turns out you later on in life become really fucking angry and political and really confident about your own opinion, even though it's counter-narrative, because you shouldn't listen to the Murdoch media. You're not going to listen to Sky News, are you? You're not going to listen to Sky News or the GB News, are you? You're not going to listen to the Australian version of Sky News, are you? You're not going to listen to what Donald Trump says, are you? Like the establishment. But then if you don't, then you've got nothing to fall back on because you didn't get educated properly. Like, where do you, like, you know, who do you listen to? And then it's like a load of idiots on social media. And you need to feel clever. You need to feel like you're connected and you know the truth because you're lost. And it turns into Nazism. It's fucking mental. These are all people in Flat Earth British that not so long ago, you know, were saying about anti-lockdown, anti-COVID. They believe the earth is flat, this lot. So they're well into it. But they believe all those other conspiracies too, don't they? They're well into all the others as well. Like, you might not be so stupid as to think the earth is flat, but it doesn't mean that you're not in the same ballpark as these people with the Venn diagrams if you also think, for example, you know, QAnon or whatever else, like, or the immigrants are the problem in our country, for example. It overlaps. It certainly fucking overlaps here, doesn't it? BBC Radio Nottingham back in the 70s. Question for the listeners. What was Hitler's first name? Phone lines on fire. Margaret from Hucknall answers. Heil. He was super based. Unfortunately, I can't go into detail or my comment will be struck down. Well, thank God it wasn't, because we're now able to see how fucking racist you are. Europa is truth. Again, there's this Europa thing. I think there's been some sort of piece of media about Hitler that's got this lot worked up. Best 10-part documentary ever, yeah. So someone's made a 10-part documentary on why Hitler was good and we've been lied to about Hitler, and this lot have eaten it up. And you couldn't... That's why they go to these people. That's why they go to these people, because they're the most naive people. That's why Martin goes to these people, so he can sell them a pen drive full of pictures. So he can get on the board of a... Like, they have meetups where Martin gets paid to talk. Like, you're conning thick people. A lot of grifters go right for the thickies. And you know what? They're not so smart themselves. Grifters and right-wingers over here. It's all overlaps. It all overlaps. I grew up with a father who loved him, and we didn't understand why. Then again, we were not permitted to ask about his German history and surname being changed. He'd clam up. Always a big secret, and he adored Hitler. What's Martin replied to this? Ja, see Kyle. And he's liked it. Is Martin Liedtke gone Nazi out, like openly, outspokenly Nazi now? This person said, I grew up with a father who loved him and didn't understand why. He adored Hitler. And Martin's put, yeah, Sieg Heil. Obviously you can't write Sieg Heil. Oh, we could talk about Kanye West in a minute. I'm keeping it on point here. I didn't think the song was very good. I thought it was not as the best produced song. Talked about that, but it is quite catchy actually. I've been singing it while I'm cooking. It's the never mind the bollocks, here come the Sex Pistols of our day. Whatever. It's not this conversation. It's not a conversation about real Nazis coming to the fore on the internet behind conspiracy theory. Like, they're in the conspiracy theory place. They're all like, it's got them going. They actually now think Hitler's a good guy. And why do they think that? Because they'll believe any old shit on the internet fed to them by Russian bots or right-wing arseholes. And they're the people you want, the thickies. They'll be the ones that are marching for freedom of Great Britain for the British, Germany for the Germans, Britain for the British. Make Germany great again, make Britain great again. They're the Britain First people. Thickest of the thick. Excellent stuff, Farty. Ouch, bro, that one's going to hurt one of these unlearned peeps. Good bloke. I mean, I don't know if this is jokes or if it's, you know, because it... See Heil means you heal. Classic, Are We the Baddies? That's from Mitchell and Webb. I love to see so many people noticing. I must say, 20 years ago, I'd have never thought so many people would start noticing. It's a beautiful thing. You mean more and more people are now being confused because 20 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to get away with saying Hitler was a good guy and like he did this and that and like, you know, in this way, because everyone knew there were too many people were alive that lived through it. They wouldn't have had it. But now they're all dead and you can get away with rewriting history. And that's the sort of thing these people think that the elites do. But you're trying to do it now. Or you're not. The elites are doing it and you're the mouthpiece of them on social media because you're confused by them. Morning, Mr. Hitler. Dang, he was such a nice guy. Must be listening to some groovy beats, Marticus. I mean, that, at least you're pointing out that Martin might be mad. I think they were all in the same theatre production company, says Bubble Bubble. Looks like he was a barrel of laughs. Nut smart, nuts. Maybe the leprechauns have a penchant for grey nub. I don't... Watch Hogan's Heroes. See Kyle. Took me half a minute to get it, lol. I don't have enough information yet to know if he's good or evil. Maybe badass. You don't have enough information about Adolf Hitler to know if he was good or evil. Or maybe, again, maybe I'm the idiot for just believing what the elites tell me. History was written by the winners. Maybe we should be more like Hitler right now at this moment in Great Britain. Maybe I'm the one that's wrong. I mean, can you believe this shit? Can you believe this shit? That's exactly what's going on, and I'm too brutal about this. I always say, like, you know, if someone's suffering with these delusions, you should try and help. Like, you know, go to a family party and there'll be someone around the dinner table who has recently learned that Joe Biden's a robot, or he's going to tell you that, you know, there were fake COVID was fake, or, like, you know, this sort of shit, yeah. And they all think they're clever and they're right and they've got access to the special information and you don't. And actually, they're being deluded by these people who are, like, confusing them because they're quite thick and they're the easy to delude on social media. And they think they've got access to but they don't have enough information to know if Hitler was good or evil. I don't know. And of course, you can't, I'd say, read a book. You know, what I would say is be really compassionate to these people, because they're being deluded by bad people who are trying to, you know, so maybe we should help them. But actually, in their heart, they're bad people themselves, some of these people. And they just want the opportunity to be proved right to be bad. You know, it's right I was bad all the time. I was right to be a shit. You know? But it's scum, and we've seen it's, you know, revisionist history. We've seen it. We fought against it. British values mean to stand up against this, and these people should be expelled from the fucking country. You know, send them back on boats to wherever the fuck they came from. If they were born here, then I don't care where you came from. Still send you off on a boat, eh? Because you don't deserve to be here. We sent off little boats to go to Dunkirk to fight against this. It's sick. Like, honestly, you look back across the wars and what happened, and then you write something on the internet, you know. Just have a look at the two documentaries, The Greatest Story Never Told and Hellstorm, then decide. 14 times 88 years, if you know, you know. Like, this is not right. This is not right at this point. 1 of 5, how the meth idea came about. Marticus Sikar von Swasticus. Hart and Heil Hitler there, HH. Tiny Moustache Man appears to have shape-shifting eyes. That one's not a racist. That was Frank Spencer Wave, I don't even know. Walter Disney, Simple. I wanted to say I'm going to read them all. How many are there? Okay, it keeps going, but not too far. This one's in foreign. Sorry, I was supposed to be that uncle Al wore a diaper his American Jews wrote in history newspapers about 6 million in the Holocaust. That is about what happened many years later. History's written in. That's saying that the Jews made it up. That one. I think he can be described as the evil twin brother of Charlie Chaplin. Well, Adolf Hitler did base his moustache on Charlie Chaplin. Not sure if that would sit right with the more cultured minds than my own. Oh, I always thought he was a Sikh, Kyle. Been looking for that dude for years. Figured he had the ancient blueprints of at least the etheric Wi-Fi password. Are you talking about... There's this funny idea that if you've got type O negative... No, what is it? Rhesus blood or something, that you're in some way related to angels and you're a special person, when in actual fact it means you're a Neanderthal and you're extra thick. Is that what he's talking about? Some sort of eugenics thing. Turns out it was just a sound loop in the MK Ultra tutorial video. You see, all the buzzwords. Classic, Carl. Anyway, the whole war was a staged reset ritual. You don't think Donald Trump's doing a great reset on you? Final sweep that broke the great forgetting, replacement. We're doing a great reset is to do the same thing again as we did in the war, isn't it? Like, instead of learning from it. These people are so thick. And I shouldn't be saying thick, because you're not going to win any hearts and minds of these people by calling them thick, but... He would have loved the rave scene. He loved his crystal methamphetamine. Who knows what he would have become. Maybe he was just born too early. But you've used the wrong two. You should learn that in school. I cannot see Kyle. No, he's definitely saying see Kyle. He called a spade a kosher spade. That's incredibly anti-Semitic, isn't it? This one. I mean, it's funny because like, I understand there are problems in the world. I mean, you look at what's going on in Gaza and Israel, and, you know, I'm not supposed to be singing the praises of the Jews there, am I? God, that's politically, like, you know, a bit of a hot potato. The people on the left are anti-Israel for bombing the kids. Yeah. But I don't think you should be on here doing this. You think you're surprised about Andrew Gold being Jewish? Yeah, well, Tommy Robinson's Jewish, isn't he? Andrew Laxley Lennon, and he, whatever his name is, and he was not really against all different immigrants. He was against Muslims, and so because he was against Muslims in his early days, Britain First, National Front, or whatever, because he was against Muslims, the Israeli people got hold of him and gave him money, and he started being paid by Israel to go against the Muslims in the UK. So, yeah, that's not even wrong what I'm saying there. That's just facts. Like, people are so stupid, they won't look behind that. Because they want to be racist and they want to blame everything on immigrants, and they are stupid, they don't understand it properly. It's easier to say, I think Tommy Robinson's good, and Andrew Tate is good, and Andrew Gold is good, and not dig any further. They're the ones to say, question the narrative, so they've obviously got to be good people. Nigel Farage is obviously doing the right thing for us. He's not. He's as bad as Margaret Thatcher, if not worse, but you don't remember or understand, so you're stupid and you get confused. It's just that, isn't it? No offence to you, Seb, there, who didn't know that Andrew Gold was posh public school boy of Jewish heritage with moneyed Jewish... I'm not being anti-Semitic, I'm just saying, you know, like, the irony is that those people are promoting a different agenda, but, like, they seem to, like... It's better, if you're the establishment, it's better to be both sides of the argument for these people. They think they found the truth because they found someone who's telling them, you know, anti-establishment stuff, but they are the establishment telling them that. Yeah, they're just being puppeteered by the establishment. So they've not managed to wake up to become woke. In fact, they attack the woke on behalf of the establishment. It's fucking weird, isn't it? It is weird. And it's kind of annoying to me because when I was younger, I was Rage Against the Machine. I've spoken about this before, you know, I was anti-establishment, Rage Against the Machine. I mean, we talked about McBurgers earlier, you know, even stuff like that is kind of politically motivated with me, I don't know. But it's this sort of talk that gets me attacked by that exact right wing, you know, by those people that masquerade as being different things on the internet, but underneath it all, they are all fucking Britain First racists themselves. This is awful. I don't know who this is, but they wanted to just comment on it. Hi, what's up? I wouldn't have bothered. Was Hitler actually Walt Disney? There's some evidence for this. At the minimum, it's proven they were lovers. Lovers are forever. This guy was hooked on LSD. He claimed he didn't know if he was coming or going. Well, that was the majority of the German military was on LSD. Not joking. Yeah, they did give him drugs. Has anyone seen Kyle? It's all about this tall. Oh, he's about this tall. Look, doing the salute. He's much taller than I am. Ha ha ha. So I get the joke, you know, funny comedy pun on racism, but there was a lot of direct anti-Semitic racism in that, wasn't there? And it's being led, the charge is being led there by Martin Liedtke, Flat Earth British. And it completely nails on what I was saying, that the conspiracy theories are being promoted by the right wing, and once you've got them and you've rounded them up and herded them, now they're confused sheep, these idiots, these conspiracy people. You know, you got them during, you know, and they didn't want to stay at home during lockdown. Right, so you've got them now, so now you can turn them and feed them, and like they're stupid enough to believe it, and people like Martin are stupid enough to share it. Not realising that, like, you can't go straight in there and say, hey, you know what, Nazism's good, let's get rid of the blacks. You know, you can't just go in there with that. It's time to murder some more Jews. Let's reopen the gas chambers. That's never going to work, is it? You have to, like, warm the water up bit by bit. Reform, Party of the Working Man, Germany for the Germans, make Germany great again. Make Britain great again. You have to just warm the water up bit by bit. That's all you have. That's what it is. That's exactly what's happening there. Exactly. He does some funny shorts. If you haven't seen who Martin is, I'll pick out a couple of his shorts with him in it, just so, you know, if you're watching this and I put it on YouTube as a video and you didn't know who he was, then here he's, you know, the man himself, being himself. He's quite a personable chap, really. You know, you could have a drink with him in the pub and stuff, but he does talk fucking loads of nonsense, doesn't he? And he does it on the internet as a grift. So I don't know if he truly believes it or if he's just like properly, you know, they believe in like a fake history, Tartaria and all this stuff. I don't know if he believes it, you know, if he just says it because it's making him money, but...
Oi, oi. Wiggly flat firms. Good to see you guys. Good risings. So, last night I did a live feed talking about the Senator fasces, and after about an hour, the screen went black. But what happened was really weird. Apparently, two magnets, these two neodymium magnets I got here, miraculously found their way from the table there to on top of my laptop. Apparently, if you put magnets on a laptop, the screen goes fucking black. And I don't even know how they got there. It was the weirdest thing, but I was properly knackered. So maybe my subconscious magneted my computer. But anyway, I'm going to be back very soon, and I'm going to present the rest of the hypothesis that we presented last night about sun being fasces. And the battery's running out. It's got a lot of interest.
And the sad thing is, Martin, I think he's in a working class environment in Wales, yeah, and like I can see why racism and misogyny or any other bad thing could breed there, but it doesn't have to. And the sad thing is that other poor people are not his enemy. You know, Jewish people are not. I mean, maybe Jewish people are quite rich at the top, or maybe they feel like his enemy. I don't know, but like he would do better by saying like, you know, the immigrant situation, or like, you know, people in poverty and like, you know, different races and cultures. You do better by banding together against the elites than accepting the elites' instruction to attack other people on your level. You know, it's fucking stupid. He's quite a personable guy. Like Martin could lead a much more positive culture. Like he could be the leader of anything he chooses to. Like if he was into Japanese music, he could be like the leader of the Japanese Music Appreciation Club. He's got a personality for that sort of thing, but he chooses to waste it on such nonsense that leads down a terrible path of horrible politics, because he doesn't either understand or care, or maybe he believes in that politics. Ultimately, he does make money out of it. He sells merchandise and does these videos and goes on tours and things. He does make money out of it. So this market, the conspiracy world market, is one that he's quite happy to tap into, but I'd find it completely unethical.
Hi guys, flat thumbs. So, just got a broadcast alert from the government concerning this storm that's on the way, Storm Dara. Last time I heard one of them was when I was in Texas, and there was a tornado in the next street, and that was pretty horrendous. So it's going off twice.
You went to Texas to talk about flat earth stuff with the community out there and stuff, so, you know.
Tell us to get our survival stuff together. So I've been doing that. Got some load of candles, getting some batteries together, and some juice in case the power goes down. So now some tunes.
I'd find mine quite personal, like I said, and I think, like, I don't wish ill on him. You know, I hope he lives a nice life and doesn't struggle, but I wish he would be more responsible. You know, and I hope that he does better for the world than he's doing now.
A life straw for water, case
I don't like the grifting.
There's some sort of tsunami, some ration packs. I got another bit of ration packs in there, enough to keep.
I mean, when I say grifting as well, Martin will literally post. He has posted, "I need money. Where's my support? I've been doing this for free. You're not giving me enough money." Like, you know, post like that. So there is a straight up grift that goes on.
In a couple of days at least, with things like that. And let's see how bad it gets. I'll keep you all posted. So hopefully Saturday show is on. I'll be looking forward to doing that. And I got other shows on this weekend, so I'll keep you posted. Wiggly flat, stormy Wales.
But sometimes, you know, this nice personality that I say is quite personal, I keep saying it, sometimes I worry that's just like a presentation on the internet to make people like you, whereas deep down, if you were like spending every day with him, he might be not so nice, you know, personally. Who knows? I mean, I don't. I think he's probably quite a nice guy. But then I see that post about anti-Semitism, and how can you not understand that that's fucking Nazism? This is his most recent show.
Was that even humanly possible in the paradigm that they say we are living in? Well, this is why I'm on the internet, and this is why I'm striving for answers.
I think you're on the internet talking to people who are confused and confusing them further because it's a source of income for you. But I hope it's not because philosophically deep down you truly believe in this horrible, horrible stuff.
So we're going to dig deep. We're going to look into the occult, loads of different really juicy manuscripts, a couple of which I've shared below in the descriptions box. But I think this, at this stage of the game, I think this, that all of these people that we're going to look at, and this is a list of, you know, oracles.
I think, in fairness to him as well, though, he does a little bit of research and he presents quite well. Like, you know, you could watch this and it's entertainment.
Mystics, lamas.
So he does all right. Like, he's got 6,000 views on this. People turn up to his streams. He does all right for that. I mean, there are a lot of confused people out there.
There's monks in churches.
But it's still morally wrong.
Magicians, sages, mages, magi, fortune tellers, witches, warlocks, wizards. They all know the same thing. And it's this. They can hack the construct and make whatever they are desiring happen. Just like in a simulation. That includes things like voodoo. That includes things like, as I mentioned, ritualistic and ceremonial magic.
And that means that if you're having a bad time and struggling in life, it offers you a lifeline that you might be able to hack the construct yourself and have this inner knowledge that other people don't have and make your life better. And suddenly you're going to be rich and successful. And you can just manifest the good things you want in the world without having to learn or work. And, you know, and it's a lifeline that people want to grab hold of because some of them are struggling. So it's all pie in the sky and it all sounds great. And like he's able to set, like a lot of these people that do this sort of grift are salespeople really deep down. They might do multi-level marketing. They might have learned the skills from that. But deep down, it's that sort of thing, isn't it? You know, sad really. You've not seen this guy. I've covered him before. He's one of the earlier people that I covered on Super Chuffer. I did a little Flat Earth season, you know, watching all the different Flat Earth people and saying why they're grifters and liars. So every now and then I just come back to him. And this is one I absolutely wanted to come back to. I didn't want to that was 6 days ago, his post about the Jews. Sorry, Hitler. I didn't want to let that get away from me. I wanted to make sure I'd caught that. Because some things he does... I mean, I let a lot of what Martin does just go under the bridge, don't I? But I don't regularly watch and detract him. But it's too easy. You couldn't watch 3 hours of this and, like, you know, I'd pause it and say things. Like, it's 3 hours of talking absolute shit about, like, pictures he's found on Google. Like, I give him the credit for doing a bit of research, but realistically, he often, like, and you'll see it here as I'm skimming through it, often what it is just like he's been on the internet and collected fucking loads of pictures into a folder, and then he'll just talk about them as he screens through them. You know, there's not much evidence of truth, and, you know, this one's a PDF file of a book, but he's got a lot of old books and he's got a lot of old pictures, and he sells those on a pen drive. It's just, I don't know. You know, what's that? That's Wembley in London. What's he saying about that?
We used to have parties like you would not believe. We had a party one night. It got so out of hand that there was so much drink spilt that the carpet had shrunk an inch off the wall. The carpet had shrunk with that much booze in it. Funny. Right, let's have a look at some antiquitech. This is Milan in Italy. Beautiful city. I've only been to the airport. I've not been to the city in the past. And it's full of antiquitech. Now, when
he says antiquitech, what he means is they believe that it was an ancient race that had access to electricity that came out of the sky, and there was Tesla-free energy that came out of the sky, and it's nonsense. And they think that we discovered these buildings and uncovered they were flooded by mud, and we just dug them out of the mud. We didn't build them.
You will see is Greco-Romano stuff, but what you don't
big up Snips. How you doing?
See is hardly any human inhabitants or birds or any life really,
because to take those photographs back in the day would have been a long exposure, right? They'd have probably got up really early in the morning at dawn, so there's probably less people around, but like long exposure, you put the camera on, you let it, because it's a still image, you let it expose, and if there is something like a bird, it goes across the frame quick and it doesn't even get burned onto the film. You know those pictures where you can see the blur of things, like slow shutter speed? That's probably on a long exposure. So if you want to appear in the picture and you're a human being, you have to stand still for the entire time the picture's being taken like that. There's like an explanation for it, a scientific explanation, but he doesn't understand the world, so he just thinks, oh, it could be that it's fake then and there's no people and it must be antiquitech. See what I mean? Nonsense. Anyway, I'm going to stop that recording of that section about Martin Liedtke. If you're watching this on YouTube, I don't know whether I'm going to upload it or not, but, you know, I wanted to have it recorded and said that Martin Liedtke's anti-Semitic community post has not gone unnoticed. And I don't read them all, and I haven't looked into everything, so it might not be the only bad thing he's done since I last looked, but this one was fucking awful, about Hitler being up for a laugh and being not a bad person. You could read that as a joke in itself, you know, like maybe he's being ironic, you know, maybe Hitler was a good guy, ha ha ha. But actually, it's confirmed in all the comments that a lot of people agree that Hitler isn't such a bad guy and it was all propaganda. Some of them even think that they faked the Holocaust and that the Jews are bad. And Martin replies with "See Kyle." So I think this is awful. You be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty.